When you tell the truth, sometimes there's a price, but God will protect you. I was in the room and in an instant, I was fine. In an instant, I couldn't breathe. I felt my throat closing up. And I thought, what is this? The last time I remember and I looked up, it was 175 over 100. Something, and I inhaled. And there was nothing going in. It was terrifying. And at this point, I'm going, this is where I am at in split seconds. Big world, little me. I remember feeling that. Do not discount yourself. You are qualified, and God has brought you here for a reason.
Uniquely me is uniquely you. Balancing the different hats of life.
Alright guys, thank you. Welcome back to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. I have with me on set today Pearlette Castles, a Jamaican living here in Canada for we will soon hear how long she's been living here and her amazing story. Guys, help me make welcome Pearlette. Pearlette, welcome.
Thank you so much, Simone. So nice to be here with you.
It's a pleasure having you, and girl, you're looking so amazing.
Thank you. You as well. I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Uniquely Me.
I've been showcasing the Uniquely Me, boldly her merch, so to speak. But I shared something with you yesterday morning. I was putting together because I just came out with the merch. Okay. But I'm just recognizing that God has also transformed the Uniquely Me brand, because it was just Uniquely Me, but He has now added boldly her. Wow. So I'm saying, God, what are you saying and doing in this time and in this season? But girl, I want you to tell us about your boldly you. Where are you from in Jamaica, etc.?
Yes. Well, thank you. So I'm from Westmoreland, right? Western part of the island, and I grew up there. I love growing up in Jamaica. I saw my parents, how they showed compassion and kindness, and the community, people would always check on you and say, make sure you're doing well at school. You know, that sort of community living. And I just love that, And then I moved to Montego Bay later on to go to school.
Which high school you went to?
I went to Montego Bay Secondary School. And I was head girl there, and so yes, and then I went on to community college, and I just love growing up in Jamaica.
So my Jamaican peeps, if you've been looking for the head girl, which year was that?
1984.
1984. Here she is sitting with me here. I wonder, my husband went to Montego Bay Secondary as well, So, but I will say to you, so I'm from Montego Bay. Okay. Right? And we grew up being afraid of Montego Bay Secondary. I know. So I want you to help me to set the tone, because honestly, I've always just had this imagery of Montego Bay Secondary. Right. It used to be, and those from my era, it was always about fights. Yes. And when it wasn't fights, the girls were getting pregnant. So I'm from Flankers in Montego Bay. Okay. Yes. And most of the girls, honestly, I don't remember one person. I cannot remember one person who graduated. Really? I cannot. Oh my goodness. Because when it wasn't a fight, somebody got killed. As I said, they were pregnant or something. But what were some of the memories, the good memories that you had of Montego Bay Secondary?
So our principal was Mr. Hugh A. Dawes, and he went into politics after being principal. But he was amazing, right? And so what I remember is having caring teachers. But yes, there were fights, because I myself witnessed a terrible fight there one day. And that boy got stabbed, and it was half-inch from his heart when he went to Cornwall Regional. But as I was prefect and progressing through until I was head girl, I got a chance to talk to my students, and say, there's more. You can't always just get in a fight, And I know that some of the areas they were from, they had to be defensive, right? They had to put on that tough exterior. But to this day, I still have friends who I communicate with from grade 8. So when I go back, I see them. But there were people there with good potential, right? Including myself and even our student council president. She lives in the States now, and we communicate. Good. some of my classmates were from flankers as well, right? So yeah, Lilliput and different areas, Salem, yeah. So I think if you have direction, you can make it, definitely, because people spot the potential in you and then they encourage you. And those of us who were like in the Key Club, they had Key Club there. So if students wanted to be in those clubs which were very positive, they could be. But I know sometimes when I used to go to the library, Cornwall College boys, they would never talk to us, you know, just seeing the uniform.
Yes.
And it's funny, when we went to Com College and they saw those of us who went to Com College, we were in the same class doing the same work.
That's
and
true.
it was no different,
That's
right?
true.
So it's not where you end up, is what you have within you, that drive, that ambition to do the very best you can.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
You're so dragging my memory back to, you know, back to those days. You know, I always remember a teacher, that Miss Parkins, I ran into her the other day, who somehow believed in me. Because again, you know, you're kind of stigmatized when you come from certain communities.
Yes.
And they wonder, can anything good come from there? And it just so happened that your peers, most times your peers are not necessarily setting the right example.
Right.
So you kind of stick out like a sore thumb, as we would say. But it's finding that one person who believes in you.
Yes.
One of the things, I think for me, I think though that God had his hand on me all throughout the end. So he would put these different teachers.
Yes.
Who would, you know, just kind of help to guide my steps, etc. Do you remember any particular person, both community wise, school wise, who just, they were kind of positioned to what you call it now, to herald you, to pilot you through the path of youth?
Yes, you know, I call them destiny helpers.
That's
now.
the word. That's the
yes,
word.
because you don't know, like you're so young and you think everything is going to work out perfectly, and then you have challenges. And I mentioned Mr. Dawes. Oh my goodness, he was a dynamic speaker, but he could spot people and encourage them. And Miss Barrett, one of my teachers, she was my accounting teacher, right? And she, you know, if she sees anything, she can pick up when anything is off with her students. And there's like 32 of us in the class, right? So she was instrumental. Miss Latouche, who was our English teacher, and so many others, you know. But I loved how in Jamaica people encourage you, right? You go to church, you get encouragement. You're in the community, they're like, make sure you study. Especially those who see how hard your parents have to work, because they had to pay to board us out in Montego Bay. And I want to say as well, your upbringing has a big part of who you are, you know, because although my parents weren't there in Montego Bay with us, they were in Westmoreland. The way they raised us to be kind, to have faith in God, right, to be respectful, treat others with dignity and kindness, right? Those are things that were instilled in you. So it comes out. And so they always say, if you squeeze an orange, you do not get apple juice. So it's what's inside you. So I think the way you're raised has a great deal you know, to do with who you become, because those values are ingrained.
That's true. If we were to do a poll of your friends, what would they say about you?
They would say I'm very organized. So even I was in Jamaica in May, and my classmate from grade 8 said, Perlette, I was telling my daughter about you, how when we were going to school, you had everything. You even wrote down when you were doing dishes. I'm like, I don't even remember that. How do you? But I've always been organized, you know, love to-do lists and those things, and I kept focused. Yeah. I mean, you know, challenges come because you weren't living with your parents, and sometimes when you're bored out, people want you to do so much work, you know. But I learned that my dad always say, it won't be forever, just do your best, you know. Would say, they want us to do so much, but you know what, out of that I learned so many things, because you're in the kitchen with the person, so you learn how to bake, you learn how to cook, all the domestic things which help you out later in your life. Yeah.
So when you were growing up in school, etc., what did you want to become?
You know, I always want to be a psychologist, and I don't even know why. But then I end up doing business administration, and so I still have that social work aptitude within me. Maybe because I was raised in caring environments. So you see seniors in Jamaica, we call them elders. You're always helping out. Or if your parents know someone needs help over there, they put something in the bag and close it up. You don't know what's in there, and they say, "Cool, run over there, give this person something," and you come back. So they protect their dignity. You know what I mean? And I admire that. They don't have to tell everybody, "I'm doing this or that." They That's
true. You're so reminding me. I remember my mother. She was always packing bags, and I remember there was an old lady way up the road. And where we live, we kind of lived in a ditch. Those who know Flankers, where we lived. But the lady lived on Churchill, way up. And those heavy bags, we used to have those heavy bags. But I'll tell you something. I realized that while it might have been a task and a chore to do as children, it became a part of me as I got older. So now I love to pack bags. My children knows that too. They also know that we don't talk about it. We just pack the bag and we go deliver. And that's it.
Exactly.
And I realize now that I'm older and wiser, I realize that it's fulfilling. Cast your bread upon the water. And you'll find it after many days. So my mother sowed seeds by her acts of kindness and giving that I realize we are benefiting from now, and so I'm also carrying on that legacy through my children. Right? I feel like you lived the life I wanted.
Oh, really?
Yes, because when I was growing up, I wanted to be an executive secretary.
Really?
I kid you not.
Wow.
So if you ask me what I wanted to be, it would always have been a secretary, and then as I understood more, I wanted to be an executive secretary. The thing about it though, let me tell you what I had liked, what drew me. I like the stockings and the high heel and the office setting.
The uniforms, right?
Yes. I loved that. But of course, based on how we grew up, mommy could not afford to send us on to college. So once I left high school, it was on to work. Right. And the other day I was saying to somebody at work, I said, banking found me. I didn't find banking. It was where I found a job. And I said, God has a unique sense of humor.
Absolutely.
Because I've stayed in banking for 30 odd years. And so that is what has shaped me. And so even though I did not become the secretary, I ended up wearing the stocking, the high heels, and I ended up in the office setting. You know what I mean? Boy, look at it. Full 360. So you somehow, somewhere along the line, you left Jamaica. And you migrated to Canada. What propelled that move?
So that was a difficult time in my life as well. When I left Jamaica, there were so many different points were called adversity. I was married, I had a daughter, she got sick, she died. And then when you tell the truth, sometimes there's a price, but God will protect you. There was a situation where someone wanted me to lie about something, and I said, no, I'm a Christian, I can't do that. And so, that became very difficult for me.
How is your healing?
I've had to ask God to just work on my heart, because sometimes when your life gets disrupted in such a way, it's not easy to always just leave it and move on, right? So sometimes there are things that will trigger you, but you have to say, I know what this is, and this is the choice that I'm making to do the right thing. So the values and doing the right thing is very important for me.
So life in Canada. Has it been what you envisioned it would have been?
When you're in Jamaica and people say they're abroad, you have this imagination of, oh my goodness, you don't have to work hard. And when I came here, I came in March. And there was so much snow on the ground. And I remember asking my cousin that to does the country lock down for 6 months, and then do you restart after the snow? She's like, no, girl, we keep going. Yeah, there's so many things I love about being in Canada. Like, it's multicultural, and I used to volunteer at the Cross Cultural Learner Center. So with refugees and people when they come into Canada new, just help them, welcome them, and help them to navigate, right?
Yes.
And they're asking me some of the same questions I used to ask, right? Do I need an umbrella? It's snowing. No, you don't. You just need your hood and a good jacket, and make sure your boots have ridges so that, it's not smooth for you to slide. And I worked on the crisis line too when I came, because I had time, right? I wasn't working right as I got here, and so it gave me an opportunity. Because I wanted to see how people communicate, what the culture was like. So that was a good starting point.
That's
like
beautiful.
Volunteering.
You've written a book, but I don't know if you want to go there first. I think I want to talk about your surgery first.
Yes.
That thing that's how you started your presentation at this place that I met you. And I will say to you, let me tell you something, that was an excellent way to have started.
Oh, thank you.
Because at first, we sum up this is my thing. You go to an event, there's going to be a speaker. I'm summing up the person as they're going up, and the first couple of words, that first 30 seconds is going to determine, am I going to pay attention or not?
Right.
And I will say, because I did a screening of the room, and you had everybody bullseye, and stuff. But for me, I think the moment you started, I was like, uniquely me. She's coming on uniquely me. So if you don't mind sharing that story with us, it's your story. It's what happened to you. If you don't mind sharing it with us.
Yes, I'm happy to, because that was a wake-up call for me, right? So, many of us Jamaicans and Black women, we have these things, annoying things called fibroids, and I had them, and they were killing me. The pain was too much. And so I had to go and get them out. And, I didn't think about death, to be honest, because in Canada here, if you have surgery, they have a pre-op appointment, you get to meet the surgeon. So on the day of the surgery, when you're on the gurney looking up, you've already met this person. I like that. It's not like a stranger. So I met with the surgeon, and she told me about, what the surgery was about. And she's like, I have no concerns. You're young. So, One thing I should mention, having a power of attorney is key in Canada.
Wow.
Right? So if you're going for surgery, they're going to ask you, who's your power of attorney? That is the person who will make that decision for you if you're unable to make it.
Okay.
That is a key thing for us.
I didn't know that.
So they have for medical and they have for financial.
Okay. Right.
So yes, I went through all the screening, who's your power of attorney, all this stuff. And so I went and, for the surgery, wasn't thinking about anything. My power of attorney was there with me, my cousin, and we were just joking because he had to go 6 in the morning, so early. So I had the surgery, everything went well. I was in the room, and in an instant, I was fine. In an instant, I couldn't breathe. I felt my throat closing up, and I thought, what is this? Because they mentioned to me in the pre-op appointment that because I'll be intubated, when I wake up, my throat would be sore. But this was different. And then when I looked at the blood pressure monitor off to the right-hand side, the numbers were just going like crazy, like increasing. And the last time I remember, and I looked up, it was 175 over 100. And they did something over the PA system, and my room was filled with everybody trying to help me. And I remember them fitting me with the oxygen mask, because the minute I felt something and I inhaled, and there was nothing going in, it was terrifying. And they were there, they're fitting me with the oxygen mask, and at this point, I'm going, this is where I am at in split seconds. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I remember my dad had a stroke and his was 200. And I'm calculating in my head 175 to 200, not too far off here. And I'm thinking, even if I survive, I might end up being, in a state where I can't help myself or something. And I remember them saying, turn off the morphine pump, them screaming, and the room is filled with everybody. And I got to the point where I said, this is it. That's it. I can't breathe on my own. And in an instant, on a prayer and a promise, I asked God, if you just give me one more chance, just one more chance. Because there's so many things I have on my someday I'll do it list. And I haven't done them. And I'm not ready to go. And so, they're there, and gradually, I got the oxygen mask, and,
And you're conscious through all of this?
I was very conscious, yes. Yeah, and I can't remember the faces of the people, but I know they were terrified. I could see when they're saying turn off the morphine pump, because there's so many people, right? And then one nurse is here fitting the oxygen mask, another one here, and everybody trying to help you. And I'm like, wow, this is what it's like. You're at the verge of death. And what surprised me too was the fact that it's not the things you had done, those accomplishments that come to you. It's your unfinished business. It's your unfinished business. And that prayer and a promise that I ask God for a second chance, every day I live in a way to honor that, that was something I asked him for. And I said, if you give me a chance, I am going to complete that someday I'll do it list, because I had a list. I just was not intentional in getting things done. I was like, I'm young, I have all the time in the world, So my message to people is stop waiting to start.
Oh, come on.
Right? Stop waiting to start. It's better you make a decision than no decision. If you make a decision and it didn't work out, failure is feedback. It's just telling you that way didn't work out. But there are other ways. Adopt the language of possibility. I can do it. I will do it. I am going to do it. Right? And so it has given me a drive to just go. Keep on doing the things that make you joyful. This is life, and there will be challenges, but you have to come to a place of radical acceptance to say, it is what it is. I can't change the past. I can't, this moment is what I have now, and this is what I'm going to do the best that I can in this moment. And if you do that with every moment, then that becomes your life. People talk about their legacy being like, oh, when I'm in my 80s. Your legacy is what you're living every single day. When I ask someone who knows you, what do you love about Simone? That is your legacy. That is who you are. So it has just lit that fire. Like, I was always organized and focused before, but it just ramped it up to a higher level. And I'm so grateful to God. Man, I live with gratitude so much. Every little thing. If I just step on something and it didn't cut my foot, God, I thank you, because something worse could have happened, right? So, and don't delay saying, I love you, I'm sorry, thank you, all those things. Don't think that you can wait till tomorrow or next week, And so even my parents, my dad has passed now, but whenever I call them, I say, thank you, you did so much to help us, send us to school. And my dad would be like, but I'm your father, what did you expect? And I'm like, I'm still telling you things. He doesn't even realize where it went, right? Because you don't want to worry them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, that experience was just a wake-up call for me to say, stop waiting to start. And one of the things that was on my list was to be an author. And so once I was feeling better, I'm like, I don't know how to start. I don't know how to do this. But I am going to just start writing what I need to, like the book title. And I started going to Indigo and just look at books in the bookstore, the colors. I read the thank yous that the authors wrote. And, during my lunch break at work, half an hour I would take to eat my lunch, and the next half an hour I was working on the book. One day I was writing the table of content, the next day what I want to say on the back cover, and that is how I got it done over time. Yeah. And so the opportunity came. The first book that I wrote was this one. So what does that mean, doctor? Right? And that was because of a personal situation where I do my annual physical, and I didn't realize that my A1C was creeping up. And I was feeling tired all the time. And I was talking to one of my cousins in Jamaica, and she's like, girl, you need to check your A1C. And I'm like, what do you know about A1C? What is that? She's like, your blood sugar level is in our family, diabetes. So I'm like, really, what? I never heard of this A1C. And then when I went to the doctor, and after I did my blood work, my A1C was like creeping up. And I said, I didn't know that I need to check this because I have no medical background. And she's like, yes, this and this, if it goes to this level, it's pre-diabetic. Then if it goes, I'm like, how come no one told us that, right? So now when I do my physical, I go back and I say, so what does that mean, doctor? So that is how I got the title for that book, right? And I say, what does it mean? What do I need to know? How is it going to impact my life? And how can I correct it? Yes. So that was out of a need. And then as I was continuing, an opportunity came where they were looking for authors to do an anthology with Les Brown. Come on. And I'm like, the great Les Brown, And so I jumped at that, and that was a great experience because I got a chance to work with editors, and Les was, we got training with him because he's such a great speaker.
Yes, he is.
Right. So what I want to tell people is you don't have to have all the steps, know everything. You just need the willingness to start and research and be open. So if you see an opportunity, don't say, oh, I don't know. You start with a positive intent. And God is going to provide all the little pieces of the puzzles. The puzzle will come together. And so that's how I got started and got a chapter in this with 34 other authors.
Oh my God.
Yes. I'm like, only God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm elated, I must say. And like I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm in awe and I'm impressed. It started with your mind, the mindset. Then the attitude, the aptitude, etc. It positioned you. Right? And so the opportunity presented itself, and there you were.
Yeah, exactly.
There you were to have that bullseye. So talk to us about working with Les Brown. Les Brown is somebody, lots of us desire to be in the room with a Les Brown. I'm telling you, right? I know another friend of mine from Jamaica. She got a chance to be coached by him. And stuff. But you got a chance to write with him. That's something that will forever, girl, you've gone on in history.
I know.
What was that like?
Man, the guy, I say guy, but at the time he was 77. He was telling us. And he had this zest to live and to share what he knew with others, and it was just contagious. Like when he comes on and he respects people, and he talked about being the underdog, and how the challenges he had to go through, people judging him based on what they knew, like, he's a twin. And, when you listen to him and the willingness to impart the knowledge, to share it, to pass on the baton to the other generation, it was just amazing. And, when you're surrounded with those people, you cannot help but think bigger.
Come on.
It is just like, I mean, it was like soul food because we had these meetings and he was there. It was amazing. Yeah.
Did you get to go meet him in person?
No, didn't get to, because it was during the pandemic, 2021. Yeah.
Well, guess what? Here's your book. If you don't mind holding it up a little bit, I mean, guys, I'm going to be zooming into it, but here it is.
Yes.
And it's called Ignite the Hunger in You. So tell us about the Ignite the Hunger in You. Tell us a little more about it.
Yes. So I was thinking, man, that's a great title. I love book titles. I write my titles first before I start writing books.
Yeah.
It is having that every one of us is born with a gift, right?
Yes.
And so it's just igniting it, because there's so many things in life that will happen to us, so many challenges, right? That will try to derail you from your destiny.
Yes.
And it's ensuring that whatever you are called in this life to do, you make sure you reach for it, and that whatever that hunger is, because he's always saying stay hungry, you know, because when you are hungry you will always be searching for the food, but when you're full you become complacent and comfortable, but when you stay hungry, you're always reaching for that thing that you alone authentically you came in, uniquely you came into this world to do, that someone else, they can't fill that void. Right? So if you keep igniting that, you know, after my surgery and I healed up and everything, I got an opportunity to be a speaker in many different areas. Like I spoke in Australia, but these were all online, Pakistan, and the opportunity. And people would always say, I love your energy. You know, and I'm thinking, what? I'm Jamaican, we have energy, you know what I mean? But it was like a different kind of determination.
Yes.
It was me having the courage to say, I can do this, I will do this, and I am going to do it.
Yes.
And having the courage to just say, you know, be clear about what I want to do. I encourage people, just be clear on what the outcome is that you want to get, right? And then be committed to the process, right? And once you do that, things will, and it will not happen overnight. It will take work. It will take work. Yeah,
that's true.
No shortcuts.
That's
it's
true.
Gonna take work. Yes,
that's true. That's
but just igniting that hunger, going after the thing that you know you were born to do, and even if you're not sure, what is the thing that you love to do? I love organizing. I could organize. I'm telling you, I used to work, and when I one of my jobs here in Canada that helped me, taught me a lot about being prepared for later in life. They have this office called Office of the Public Guardian and Trustee. And if someone doesn't have a power of attorney and they become mentally incapable, that office steps in and protects your assets.
Okay. Wow.
And when I was working there, in my caseload, there was a guy who was my age, and I didn't have a power of attorney then, because, you know, from Jamaica, we're not even thinking about those things, and wills and those things, we don't want to hear it. And it was a matter where it was summer, and he was driving one of those ATV vehicles, you know, all-terrain vehicles, and it hit a tree, and he became mentally incapable.
Jesus.
And I said, oh my goodness, he's my age. And back then I was in my 30s, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to get one of these things done. But it's so important that, you know, it doesn't matter your age, life can happen. So the more prepared you are, as you're saying, prepare. It is when preparation means opportunity, being prepared. You're not gonna be overthinking, but it is important to be prepared.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, uniquely me is uniquely you.